Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my 2021 reading goals, as well as letting you guys know what the Pop Sugar 2021 reading challenge prompts are, because I am participating in that. I don't know how long Pop Sugar has been doing their reading challenge. I did part of it last year and then realized that I didn't want to be kind of confined to a certain amount of books or a certain type of book. I just kind of wanted to read what I want, if that makes sense. But this year, I kind of want my year to be a little bit more structured, because last year was so unpredictable, and I know that's probably going to go into this year as well, but because the prompts are already picked out, I have just decided to follow them. I have all of my books picked out for each prompt too, but they are subject to change. I'm not gonna hold myself that accountable. There are books that I don't have on my shelves that I either need to buy, I can get them from Book of the Month, or I can get them from the library. But for example, Book of the Month does come out with new books every single month, so there may be a month where I'm just like, or a prompt that I'm like, you know what, this book will fit with that prompt as well, so I'm gonna switch it up. And I might do that, which is why I'm not going to give you my entire TBR for the year, although I do have it planned out pretty well. I'm just gonna read you guys the prompts and let you guys know at the end of the video kind of what my goals are for the year of 2021. So here we go. Prompt number 1 is a book published in 2021. I actually already read this book, so you will see it in my January wrap-up. Number 2, an Afrofuturism book. Number 3, a book that has a heart, a diamond, a club, or a spade on the cover. Number 4, a book by an author who shares your zodiac sign. This one's kind of funny because this one I actually, not only does this author share my zodiac sign, but they share my birthday, so I thought that was pretty cool. Number 5, a dark academia. Number 6, a book with a gem, a mineral, or a rock in the title. And I'm just looking at my notes here. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking down here. Let's see. Number 7, a book where the main character works at your current or dream job. In that case, mine is an author, so I picked a book that has an author as the main character. Number 8, a book that has won the Women's Prize for Fiction. Number 9, a book with a family tree. Number 10, a bestseller from the 1990s. Number 11, a book about forgetting. 12, a book you have seen on someone else's shelf. And this one I used like a booktuber. I can see most bookshelves in the background of like booktubers videos, which in my case you can't see mine. My makeup is actually back there. I film in front, or my bookshelf is in front of me. That's where I set my phone up and stuff to film. So sorry that you can't use me for this prompt, but I use actually Gabby Reads. I can see the book that I want to read in the back of her videos. I don't remember what number I was on, but I'm just gonna keep going. The next one is a locked room mystery. A book set in a restaurant. A book with a black and white cover. A book by an indigenous author. A book that has the same title as a song. In this case, I just went down like my bookshelves and just kind of looked on Spotify to see if I could find whatever the first book on my bookshelves that has the same name as a song. So, a book about a subject you are passionate about. A book that discusses body positivity. A book found on a Black Lives Matter reading list. In this one's case, this book I couldn't actually find on a Black Lives Matter reading list, but I think that it should be on one. It's actually YA, which I don't know if that's the reason why it's not on a Black Lives Matter reading list, but I did pick a book that I think is relevant for this, and I really have wanted to read it for a really long time, so Yeah. A genre hybrid, which I feel like a lot of books are genre hybrids. I picked a fantasy romance, but honestly, like, you could pick a sci-fi horror or a romance contemporary or whatever you want to pick. A book set mostly or entirely outdoors, a book with something broken on the covers. In this one's case, I actually picked a cover that has broken in the title, but it also has like a broken window, I think, on the front of it. So I thought that I was a little clever by doing that it has both. A book by a Muslim American author, a book that was published anonymously. I didn't pick a book that was actually published by an anonymous author. It was published by somebody who uses a pseudonym, which in my case was Alex North. I'm not going to tell you which book I picked, but he actually does go by a pseudonym, which I didn't know until I Googled it. A book with an oxymoron in the title, a book about do-overs or fresh starts, a magical realism book, a book set in multiple countries, a book set somewhere you'd like to visit in 2021. For this one was pretty easy, although I would like to take more than one vacation in 2021. I just don't see that happening. My brother is actually getting married this year though, so I just picked a book that was set in Colorado. That's where he's getting married, so that's the only place I have a feeling that I'm going to be visiting this year. A book by an online personality, like a booktuber, I guess any type of YouTuber, a blogger, anyone like that. So a book whose title starts with X, Q, X, or Z. I only have one book that starts with any of those letters, so that's the one that I had to pick. A book featuring 3 generations, a book about a social justice issue, a book in a different format than what you normally read. So if you normally read regular books, you could pick a manga or a graphic novel or an audiobook. I have a really hard time listening to audiobooks, so I picked a graphic novel for a book that I've already read, like, way in the past. So I feel like that was the best way to go for me. A book that has fewer than 1,000 reviews on Amazon or Goodreads. I already picked my book, so by the time I read it, it might not have 1,000 Goodreads reviews. It has more, like, ratings, but it only had like 800 reviews when I looked at it, but I'm just gonna leave that on my TBR because I picked the TBR a couple weeks ago. So, a book you think that your best friend would like. I picked a book. I don't really have a lot of friends that read. I picked a book that my best friend actually likes the movie adaptation, so that's why I picked that one. A book about art or an artist. A book that everyone seems to read, but you. Your favorite prompt from a past Pop Sugar reading challenge. I just wanted to read all my book of the month books this year, like all my backlisted ones. So I just picked a prompt that would go with one of those books. I kind of cheated. Okay. The longest book by pages on your TBR. I just had to go through all the books on my TBR just to find that one. These ones are all actually, okay, let me explain these last ones. So the last 10, so there's 50 prompts on the Pop Sugar 2021 reading list. There's always 50 prompts, but the first 40 are the actual prompts, and then the last 10 are extra. So they're like, I don't remember what they call them. I don't know, they have a name for like those last 10, but the last 10 always has to do with like the year that we're in. So this one, or they always have like a theme. So last year's theme was like 2020. So it was like, pick a book with a main character in their 20s, or pick a book that has 20 in the title, or whatever. The last 10 on this challenge are all books that are already on your TBR. So it was super easy for me to pick these last 10. The longest book by pages on your TBR, the shortest book by pages on your TBR, the book on your TBR with the prettiest cover, the book on your TBR with the ugliest cover, the book on your TBR that has been there the longest. A book from your TBR list you meant to read last year but you didn't. A book from your TBR list you associate with a favorite person, place, or thing. A book from your TBR list chosen at random. And a DNF book from your TBR. And a free book from your TBR. And that is it. Those are the 20 prompts. I've already finished one book this year. It is currently the 5th of January. I actually finished that book on the 1st, and then I started another one like that night or the next day. It's taking me a little longer to get through the second one, but it's because I've been a little bit stressed out this week. It's like just an ongoing theme with me, I feel, but I am ahead of schedule when it comes to my reading, because my goal for the year is to read at least 50 pages a day. So that's gonna add up to like, oh my god, it's like 18,000 pages or something throughout the entire year, which is doable. And then another goal of mine is to read all of my backlist titles from Book of the Month, which I had them all on prompts for my TBR, or for my the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I have them all except for I think 1 or 2 of them. In that case, I'll just have to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I need to make a little bit of space up there. Another goal of mine is to not bring in too many books this year. I bought a lot of books last year. My shelves are pretty full, and I really can't fit any more books. I actually have an entire box right here in front of me that also have books in it that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to want to put them on my shelves. They're books that are from like a storage unit that I had, so all the books in these box are either books that I've already read and I don't want to read, or books that I don't know if I want to read, so they're just sitting in the box because I don't know if I want to read them. And then I have I went to a couple of different bookstores this year and I bought a bunch of books. I've been to Barnes & Noble more times than I have ever in my life this year, and I have purchased a book every time I go there. I just want to focus on my TBR. I want to focus on the TBR I have set for me, and my Goodreads goal is to read 50 books in 2021. Last year I exceeded my goal of 40 books by reading 45 books. So I figure that this year, if I read 50 books, it's not going to be that much of a difference from reading 45 books. So yeah, I think that kind of sums it up, kind of my goals and what I want to do. Another one of my goals, I think I mentioned this in my last video, is I want to dip my toe a little bit more into fantasy, which I have been doing. And I also want to try not to add too many books onto my book of the month, although this month I let myself splurge a little bit. I bought 2 extra books, so when my book of the month gets here, I will have 3 more book of the month books to put on my my shelves, which I've already broken one of my rules by not bringing in too many books. But yeah, I think that is all. I kind of want to focus on the books that are on my shelves. I don't want to go shopping for too many more books, although, I mean, I did get a library card last year at like the end of the year. So I am going to put that into good use when it comes to these prompts, because there are a lot of books on the list that I just don't have. But I have already looked them up on like the website for the library, and the library has most of them, and then I can get some of them from Book of the Month. So they won't be too expensive for me to buy. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go. My sister is bringing me a coffee, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!